fish get high. Did you know that?
No.
They do. Do you know how they get high?
Man, I know this is a joke, but I cannot figure it out.
They get high on seaweed.
Oh, God.
And you just saw how much time goes into us finding dad jokes.
I was at the restaurant with my son. We were doing a boys' day.
Yeah, right on.
And we got sushi.
Okay.
It doesn't sound manly.
How old's your son?
He's 8.
8, and he goes for sushi.
He loves it.
Really?
He loves it's super.
That's unusual.
It's putting me in the poorhouse, man. And he is.
You can't get like the Safeway sushi for lunch?
I have.
Yeah.
Both my kids like it. And one time I took them to the mall, and they have these little $5 rolls at one of the kiosks in the mall. And I just thought I hit the gold mine because it was $5.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that great. It didn't fool them for long. So, but yeah, anyway, we were at sushi and we had to wait, and we're trying to figure out what to do. I'm trying not to be on my phone.
Right.
Trying to be present. I'm trying to connect with my son, and I am on my phone, and I look up, I look up dad jokes.
Yeah,
and
right.
We sat there for 10 minutes just laughing so hard on all of these just really crazy dad jokes. Just silly, really silly ones. I can't even remember them. I have to look them up. So,
right on. So in the last episode, we introduced or we announced that that Mike, our co-host for the Mountain Cog podcast, was going to retire. Got a big promotion. Time's our most valuable asset, and just, as he stacks up all of his responsibilities and things that he needs to do, for home, with his, physical fitness, with his family, with his job, everything. It was just, he's like, hey, it's not going to work for me long term. So we said, okay. And we made the decision one night. And so we said, what are we going to do now? And the spot was vacant. I don't know if you know this or not. The spot was vacant for 12 hours.
Nice.
we made a list. We made a list of, we basically went back through our old podcasts and we said, who did we first connect with? Who do we think could bring value to the podcast that our listeners would like, that maybe could open up a different group of people, a different network? And we made that list, and on the top of that list was you.
Oh.
And so we said, hey, we're going to shoot for the stars, and we'll reach out and see what this gentleman who's sitting next to me, we haven't announced who you are yet.
Oh, yeah.
And you so I emailed you, and you emailed me the next morning.
Yep.
Which notoriously you said you're bad at email.
I am usually. Yeah.
But 12 hours. And not only did you, I loved your response, because not only did you say yes, but you said, hell yes, I'm in. Those are the first 4 words. And I was like, okay, that's the enthusiasm that we're looking for. We knew that you were a listener. Every time I talked to you, you'd mentioned that you were listening to it.
Yes. Yeah. I've listened to every single episode. I really enjoy it. I really do. So
thanks, man. And so you're going to be our new co-host.
Nice.
Yeah. And you are?
I am Dane Higgins, the suspension guru bikes, dad. I've got all kinds of things that,
all kinds of titles.
Yeah. All kinds
names.
of, there's ones I can't say. Well, I guess I can. We can cuss a little bit.
We can cuss. Yeah.
Okay.
It is totally a explicit podcast. Try not to get too pornographic or anything like that.
No.
But,
I have kids, so I've been toned down. I've been conditioned.
Yeah, me too.
My oldest is 12, so I've got 12 years of trying not to cuss. So I don't think I'll be doing it like crazy.
So, but if it comes out, it's okay. And and if you don't remember Dane or don't remember the Guru, go back March 28th of 2023. We released episode 33, and that's where we first met you. And really enjoyed that episode. That podcast actually did really well for us. We're recording in a different location now. We're actually in Guru Bikes here in Tucson.
Yeah.
And it's
in the comfy chairs.
It's in the comfy chairs.
Yeah.
And it's super, super motivating to me because in my studio, we have guitars surrounding us. And in this studio, we have bikes.
Yes.
Like more bikes than I can think of.
There's a smell when you walk into a bike shop.
Like
There's
rubber and bike lube and grease. And
I don't notice as much because I'm in it all the time, but people tell me about it, that they miss it. I've met some people that were bike shop guys back in the day in college or whatever, and they walk in 20 years later and they got kids and they're starting to ride again, and they'll mention, man, I miss the smell. and it's definitely got a good smell. Sometimes it's got a bad smell.
Really? Well, so yeah, I
Depends
guess.
on what Carlos had for lunch. So
That's just the smell of the humans that happen to be here.
Yep.
But the smell of a well-maintained, and this is a well-maintained bike shop.
Yeah.
As I look around, I mean, every single tool is in its right place. There's awesome, like, old vintage bikes with all different kinds of designs up on the walls. Yeah, this is a pretty amazing place you got here, man.
It's cool. I love hearing that stuff. We've been building this. We're almost at a year now.
Yeah,
which is awesome. And this is something that so Tyler is my partner
right on
in the shop, Tyler Vandruff, and we've been friends for so many years. We came up with this and definitely wanted to put our own personalities into it.
Right on.
And so there's a little bit of everything. Tyler is a woodworker. He worked on boats. He loves boats. He's into wood. And so he's starting to incorporate wood into the shop.
Kind of weird to be into boats and live in Tucson.
It's really weird. It's a little depressed sometimes. But, and then I love metal. I like to metal work. I weld and love to make metal art. And so we put that in there. And I have a little bit of design background, and my degree was in retail science. And so, so there's some of the layout, and then, his fit area, the service center, we have just a great team that, Bryant is one of our main mechanics, and he really sets the standard for cleaning off the bench and keeping things organized. And I've been to other bike shops, and they're just a hot mess.
Yeah, can be for sure.
Yeah. And it's amazing because this one doesn't feel uncomfortable, but it's so organized. It's really nice. And I'm just lucky because we have just a good team.
There's something great. So you've seen my little home shop, and like I have it set up that way where every tool's got a place, and there's something awesome. And I haven't always been that way. There's something awesome about like needing a tool and knowing exactly where it is at all times. You're not spending 8 minutes trying to find some whatever specific, T25 torque wrench or whatever it is that you need. There's something nice about it. And so I've disciplined myself, and it makes my maintenance and my bike build so much more efficient, so much more fun, less stressful. Yeah, man, I can definitely see why you guys do it.
Yeah. It's my garage at home is that definition of a hot mess. Not because I don't like organizing, but because of my time constraints. I'm not there as much. I don't get to do it. And I shove so much into that thing and just finding spots for it. But some of my best days are I'll just take a day off and clean my workbench at home and get things put away. And just the weird organizing and putting stuff into little canisters and stuff and organizing it is like so satisfying. It's just really weird.
The other thing is you have this too. I have kids, and I have a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old, and they like to come use my tools.
Oh, mine aren't allowed.
Oh, really? Yeah. Mine, I haven't put the full restriction on yet. But it makes it super nice because when they take something down, I know immediately. Yep. Like, where's my whatever?
Oh, yeah. So again, mine's a hot mess. So I haven't gotten to your level yet. But when I was a kid, I would use my mom's tools, and I would take stuff apart like crazy.
Yeah, you talked about taking apart her drill in the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
And not being able to put it back together.
Yep. And I got into trouble so much because I didn't put stuff back. And so I got my son likes to tinker, and so I got him his own tools.
Oh, cool.
So he gets to lose his own tools, not mine.
Maybe I need to take a lesson from you there, brother.
I find his tools in the backyard. He's digging holes with screwdrivers and stuff. And but he's got a lot of potential. I think he was 4 or 5 when he first started wanting to use tools. So, and we work on RC cars.
Oh, right on.
So he can take apart his own RC car.
Oh, I got to talk to you afterwards because I got one that I think's got a bad EC, electronic speed control, ESC.
Yeah.
And I need to figure out what to do about it. So I'll have to ask you. I got to try this.
I'm not an expert. I'll get you in touch.
Tell us about it. Well, what we thought we could do today, before we start bringing guests on, and I think one of the guests we want to bring on shortly is actually your partner Tyler. Yep. And one of the things we want to talk about. So we in the episode before Mike's retirement episode, we published about Frank the Fitter at another shop over in Tucson here that we like a lot, Ben's Bikes. And we really enjoyed Frank. We really enjoyed that. I got a fit. Frank is a triathlete, Ironman, And so really a road oriented kind of fit. He does mountain bike fits as well.
Yeah.
But I think Tyler is more in tune to mountain bike fits. Is that true?
Yeah. So Tyler raced downhill bikes, raced cross country, raced triathlon. Like he's done everything. He was track
jack of all trades.
Yeah. Track in high school, raced boats. Like the guy's done so much. His, as he started to, fit, his focus has been more on mountain because our shop is a little more mountain bike oriented. But he's a big fan of triathlon.
Okay.
And so we've got a couple good triathletes in the shop. And so we are building that market.
Cool.
And then, of course, road as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Road fitting has always been kind of what people think of when they think
bike fits.
Yeah. And Tyler, being a downhiller and a cross country and trail bike rider, he really understands the difference.
Yeah.
And I've experienced, as my many years in Tucson of being in bike shops, seeing some fits come from a road fitter on a mountain bike, and they don't make sense.
Yeah.
And that road fitter is trying to put, that
what
rider.
They know.
Well, yeah,
they're using what they know and trying to apply it to maybe not to the right bike.
And they're not looking at the nuances between the differences.
And I'm not at all suggesting that Frank would do that because I haven't had a mountain bike fit from Frank.
Yeah.
But we thought it would be cool for you all to get to know Tyler and then also to kind of focus in on like what does a mountain bike fit specifically look like?
Yeah.
And maybe contrast that to like a road fit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's perfect. And what I like about Tyler is he can do both. So he's got a good perspective of both, which is nice. So
yeah. And one of the things Frank talks about also, and I think we even did this in our little audiogram, was that every fitter's got their own philosophy. There's some like baseline, concepts that most of them use.
Yep.
But then from there, they have their own lessons and philosophy. And so it'd be cool to talk to a couple different fitters and get a feel for like how they do things differently.
Yeah, it's a personality. And sometimes we'll see customers that just mesh with different personalities better.
Right.
And that's as important as their skill as a fitter. So there's no perfect fit,
right?
But there's a perfect fit for you.
Yeah.
And so, so you find sometimes you do have to look for a different fitter. Like you can't just say there's the best fitter, because some people like different things. Ford, Chevy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
personal preference comes into it. Well, for today, what we thought was, we'll get to know Dane a little bit more. And I got a bunch of questions to ask you. And this will kind of just go where it goes. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So the first question I have for you here, is, we hear a lot about the state of the bike industry. So like COVID hit, we had supply chain issues that were created just based on the ability to, first and foremost, to just transport and manufacture based on COVID. But then there also was a huge increase in demand as people were like, stuck at home, taking up new hobbies. And one of the things that you could do where you couldn't do team sports as much was go ride a bike. And so demand went through the roof, supply was constrained. And so that created some problems. And I'll just tell you my perception. You can jump in. I want to hear what your perspective is. But
sure.
But I believe like manufacturers ramped up when they were able to, and the bike industry started to order based on the new demand. The demand started to kind of normalize after COVID, right? So we picked up new cyclists, and some of them stayed with us, but not everybody stayed with us.
Yeah. And
so now we have excess supply and not enough demand. And I see things like today I saw that Kona was offering like 2-for-1 bikes, right?
Yeah.
Of their process brand or whatever like that. And you see a lot of like really, really screaming deals. I even bought a bike from you. I bought a Pivot with kind of like the transmission. And got a great deal on it through you because it was, I don't know, I would have got that a year ago or 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I want to hear what are your thoughts on like the state of the bike industry right now?
So it's crazy. We've seen a couple big companies go out of business.
Yeah. And so like who? So I know
Chain Reaction,
Vitus, and Wiggle and those guys. Yep.
Yeah. And that's a shock, cause they were huge. They're operate on a lot of low margin. And so when you have a business that's got operations on volume and low margin, small things affect it a lot bigger. So if you remember, there was a company in town called, Performance. And Performance was a very similar
low margin business model.
Business model. Yes, exactly. And they would operate high volume, low margin. And then if they make a big move, purchase a couple stores or something happens, into the ecosystem, then
it's hard to stay afloat.
Yeah. It affects them really rapidly, and they don't have that tried and true. You look at companies like Trek and Specialized, their roots go deep.
Yeah.
They're not getting yanked out easy.
Yep.
So COVID hit, there was just a drought. There's a couple factors. There's small factors and big factors. The biggest ones are ones you mentioned.
Right.
Just a lot of people couldn't go to the gym. They wanted to get outside. They're going stir crazy in their houses. Yeah. Cycling was good exercise, something to do. It's fun, exciting. People loved it, and still do. But
and it's awesome. It is awesome.
Right before COVID hit, the market was starting to see maybe a downturn.
Really?
And there was a lot of companies, and this is stuff that I've gotten from my industry friends.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I can't cite any articles. That's
okay. We don't do that.
Your job as the listener to Google this, and definitely call me out.
We're giving you homework now. That's
Exactly.
one big change.
Yeah. But one of the factors is there was a bunch of companies that were canceling orders for bikes because they were seeing a downturn and they wanted to limit how many bikes they were going to have.
So they were canceling them from the manufacturers, basically.
Yeah. Okay. They were just canceling purchase orders is what they call it. Right. And so that happened right before COVID.
Yeah.
And so now these companies got out of line. So
I got you.
They basically gave up their spot in line. They're no longer in line.
With the manufacturers in Taiwan and China.
COVID hit, and then you have factories like shutting down for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And so that stops production. Yeah. So the line gets longer. And so now you're even longer. Yeah. I think we sold Pivot, and I think Pivot was 18 months at one point.
Jesus Christ.
To wait for a bike.
Wow.
So you had some companies canceling orders, some companies limiting orders because they were seeing an economic, year that was going to be low.
Yep.
And then the boom happened, which nobody expected. Yeah. And it's funny, we can look back and go, oh, it's so obvious, but nobody
Hindsight,
knew.
But
Yeah.
I mean, even when it started, we were 6 months in before we knew it was going to blow up, right? You were like, what's going on? Like,
I was calling all my friends. Well, that old 26-inch bike in your garage? Get it out and sell it now.
Now's the time.
I sold everything. I was riding my old 26-inch bike because I sold all my bikes.
Really?
We couldn't get them.
I should have done that.
Customers were coming in, and we couldn't get them anything. And And, we were just scrambling to keep going. We functioned pretty normal throughout all of that. We had our masks and we had our distancing, but we were open because we were deemed essential, which was nice. So we all had jobs. We didn't have to take a break. In fact, there was times when I kind of hoped that I got COVID. I hate to say that, but because I just wanted a break, and I never got it. So
you've never had it?
No.
Wow.
Never had it. Okay. Yeah. And it's mainly because I'm Superman. So, but other than that, I don't know why. So, but I've
had it like 4 times. So
I have friends. My family had it in the house.
In the house, and you didn't get it.
And I didn't get it. So I even got the nice test. You can get the home tests are questionable, and I got the
good one.
The good one, and didn't have it. So it's kind of crazy. I have no idea why. So other than I'm from Wisconsin.
Good genes.
So I think that's what it is.
Oh man, we're going to go down a rabbit hole real quick. I just ordered some.
Did you get cheese?
I got some I'll bring you one, man, because I ordered 4 of them. I got some oven baked Wisconsin cheese.
I have some.
Do you?
Yep.
Oh,
I told you I usually have it on me.
Oh, that's awesome. I had it for dinner last night. Lacey had me stop. My wife had me stop and get Panda Express, and I'm not a big fan. I'm not eating a lot of carbs right now. Mm-hmm. Just with alcohol. That's my only carbs.
Yep. Yeah.
But and so I was like, I got a kielbasa, which is like a smoked sausage. For those of you who don't know.
I got one of those for Christmas.
Yep. And I got some of that Wisconsin baked cheese, and they all eat Panda Express, and I ate the kielbasa and the baked cheese for dinner last night. It was awesome.
So we have just till we get back to it, but real quick, brick cheese.
Yeah, Wisconsin brick cheese. We talked about that in episode 33.
Okay, my wife and I have a healthy discussion about this.
Yeah.
She thinks that she's gotten me brick cheese, but she says that any farm cheese is brick cheese.
It's not.
It's not.
It is absolutely not.
It's not. And I've never been able to find it outside of Wisconsin.
Yeah. So in the last episode, we talked about this, but Easy, so Mike's buddy, flew out for the 24-hour race, and he flew out for Wisconsin, and I had him bring me 4 bricks of brick cheese.
Yeah.
Because I make Detroit-style pizza.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of cheese that we use in Detroit on Detroit-style pizza is Wisconsin brick cheese. So.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love, my mom does the same thing. She flies out with 2 suitcases.
Full of cheese.
One inside the other. Comes back with 2, not inside each other. One is full of cheese.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so that's what it was. But what do you think about the industry today?
Okay, so, now, product life cycles for bikes and the way that manufacturers order them, because they're not being made in-house. They order them. They have them built at a manufacturer that specializes in whatever they're doing, mostly carbon fiber, but aluminum also. And what they do, the process that they do it is they have to design the bike.
Yep.
Then they have to get prototypes. Then
Is it the same? Do the prototypes come from the same manufacturers, or do they have other houses that make the prototypes?
It depends. So, I have a prototype in the shop right now of a Pivot, and Pivot made it themselves.
Okay.
And it is...
and do they make it is it going to be a carbon, but they make it out of aluminum because it's easy to manufacture aluminum in a machine shop?
And Pivot right now is starting to experiment with rapid prototyping carbon, too. And so they have a couple downhill bikes out that people have seen online that...
Rapid prototyping carbon. Yeah. How are they doing that without making the molds?
Aluminum lugs.
So they're just doing the bars, and then they can machine the lugs quickly, and then the crossbars or whatever are all made of carbon.
Yep.
And you just fit them together.
Yeah, it sounds...
So this is kind of like what the Athertons are doing.
With
Atherton bikes.
Yeah, kind of.
Because they're digitally printing their lugs.
Yeah, they're additive manufacturing.
Additive manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Pivot process is a little more complicated just because they're getting into the layup and they're trying to mimic how the bike will ride.
Okay, so they're actually it's not just a standard tube.
No, it's not like they just bought it at Home Depot and throw it together.
Okay.
It's they're actually making the carbon.
They're making the carbon, but you don't have to. They don't need all of the forms that you would need if you're making a full frame.
Not as much.
That's the cost, right? Is in those molds.
Yeah, and the manufacturing, it gets really nasty. It's a lot of chemicals.
For sure.
It's not that great. So back to the bike industry. One of the companies that went out is called Gorilla Gravity.
Yeah, I have a Gorilla Gravity Smash.
Yeah,
right.
And so Gorilla Gravity, I want to know why. I heard rumors.
What have you heard?
Just
should we not joke? Should we not?
I heard their main backer pulled out, similar to what's going on in with the Wiggle and all those guys in Europe. And so I'm not sure though, but it's just I think there's a cost, and if you have a dry spell, you start to run out of capital.
Yeah, especially if you're living hand to foot, right? Or hand to mouth.
Yep.
It was interesting because they do the thermoplastic carbon, which I'm coming from a defense contractor. I'm like a huge fan of, right? And I think eventually most of the bike companies will go there, but it's a $200 million like retrofit of the factory to switch from thermoset to thermoplastic. I think it's just a better carbon product. Now someone come and tell me that I'm wrong. That's great. But I wanted to reach out to the Gorilla Gravity guys and try to find out. I know Canfield's running their. There's one of the guys from Gorilla Gravity went over to Canfield. Canfield's another small bike company in Colorado. Make great bikes as far as I know. But they're doing I don't know if it's warranties, but they've got all their excess product, and so that you can still buy whatever is available through Canfield. But I'm do they have any intellectual property, their manufacturing process? I'd really like to see if they'd be willing to sell that. I'd be interested in.
I heard there was an auction last week. So
we're a week too late, buddy. Yeah. See, this is why I want to get connected with you.
Right. So back to what we were talking about. The
state of the industry.
State of the industry. It's so COVID, big boom.
Yep.
A lot of manufacturers lost out on a lot of sales because they had canceled orders or just didn't have enough bikes. So they didn't boom like people expected. It emptied their warehouses, which sounds great, but in a business model, you want to continually...
It's cash flow.
Yes. Yeah. You want to keep that stock going. So if you if you empty the warehouse, you're going to have a period of time, whatever period it takes to make that
money coming back
where there's nothing coming in. And so that's affecting a lot of things. And then, and my biggest peeve with the bike industry is that exactly what you said, they forecast based on those numbers, and they boomed up their numbers because they expected to keep that volume of bikes going. Yeah. And that drives me insane because most economists, most people that follow this stuff would tell you that no, you're going to see a slump, you're going to see a decline. Yeah. So don't order, the average 10% above what you did last year. Back off a little bit. And so these companies, of course, did that.
Yeah.
And so now they're way overstocked. Some of them are so overstocked, they are literally giving bikes away. But I can tell you that it's not been affecting bike shops like I thought it would. There's some impact on bike shops. But that rocky road, that waves that we've been riding has been crazy because it's up and down like crazy. 1 minute we can't get anything. The next, there's a ton of it. Yeah. The next it's on sale. The next we can't get it.
I want to double click on the bike shop thing, but first I want to give a plug for my profession.
Sure.
Which what I do is I'm a corporate strategist for a major defense company, and part of my job is to predict what demand will be in the future, so that we can kind of, from a hockey analogy, skate to where the puck's at. Yep. Skate to where the puck's going to be. And so it's our job to we do deep analytics, review all the stuff that's out there, and then we present our findings to our corporate leadership and say, hey, the market's going to do this, the market's going to do that. Here's where you should do. And hopefully, if we're good at our jobs, the company is in the right position at the right time. And so if you're an industry person, you're listening to this and you don't have a corporate strategy organization, I urge you to look into that. Yeah. And if you want to, just send me a note and I can, point you in the right direction or introduce you to some people, or maybe even give you some, if you're a small company, I'd be happy to give you some free advice or do some analysis for you. So bike shops, you said that this yo-yo of demand's there, demand's not there, oversupply, undersupply. You thought it would impact bike shops more, but it's not. So what do you mean by that?
Well, in our scenario, so we're lucky. We just opened in January, so we're almost at our 1 year.
Yeah. So you would COVID was kind of over.
It was over, and we weren't overstocked. So we don't have a ton of extra. We don't have old bikes lying around. We didn't buy a bunch of bikes that were immediately, replaced. One of the things that was weird is all of the 2021 and 2022 bikes were late, and then the 23s came out on time. And so a lot of bike companies ended up with excess stock because
they had 21, 22, and 23, right? All kind of dumped at this close to the same time.
Yeah. The product development cycle is about 2 to 3 years, depending.
From design to
floor.
To on the floor.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
And 2 years is probably pretty safe.
Do you know how, if you break that 2 years up, how much of it's design, how much of it's manufacturing, how much of it's delivery?
So that's not even a new product design. That's maybe just design as far as color schemes and, marketing plans, things like that. So when you're developing a whole new bike, you tack on years for that. That's why Pivot's working on their rapid development.
So they can speed that up.
Yeah, they want to design bikes and have them in market within a year. And that's really ambitious. They're trying to get it down faster than that. So
we're going to go. I stopped into the Pivot factory up in Phoenix, or just outside of Phoenix, and talked to them about doing a tour and then coming back and doing an episode to talk about what we saw of the factory there, or the assembly. I guess it's not really a factory. It's like an assembly plant, basically. Yeah,
that's kind of, if you think about the bike industry right now, for the most part, nobody makes their own stuff. Right. There's, of course, small frame builders. There's Gorilla, was
Canfield.
one. Canfield, they're smaller, but specialized in Trek. Trek makes some of their own bikes a little bit, but they've been scaling that back for years. Yeah. Most of them develop, prototype and basically operate, and then they hire the best people to make their stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it, because it's not a bad thing. They're just figuring out how to make the product the best, for the best price. And
the manufacturing companies are just trying to figure out how to manufacture it the best, right?
Well, yeah, they're specializing. So these mostly Taiwan. If it's a lot of times I'm talking about carbon because we do a lot of carbon.
Yeah.
So Taiwan is the center for that, and Taiwan carbon is the best in the world.
Have you been to the Taipei Bike Show?
No, God, I would love.
Should we
to
go sometime?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely got to go.
Yes, yeah. I just for the food.
So get some boba tea.
Oh my God. So carbon fiber bikes have basically, they get basically built on a computer, sent over, prototyped and built at usually a Taiwan plant, then sent back. Then they get ridden, they get tested, they get destroyed, to figure out where their fail points are.
Yeah.
And then that process can last a long time depending on how many changes they have to make and how well they're engineered. Sometimes the smaller companies will just get what we call catalog bikes. And so you can go in and just kind of pick front end, rear end, top tube. This is what color, put my name on it.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to design it, which is crazy. And those are an easy, efficient way for small companies to start building frames.
And I saw a lot of that when I went to Interbike a long time, and they had I saw a lot of that there. I've only been to Interbike. I haven't been to Eurobike. I haven't been to the Taipei Bike Show. Those are both things on my bucket list to go over and do those two things.
Yeah. I miss Interbike
So
because that was one of the things is you get to see the new stuff and you kind of get to see it in advance, but you get to see the weird stuff.
Yeah, there was all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah,
we talked last time about one of the shops you worked at previously, Fairwheel, and how they would have a booth there, and that was like so.
And that was weird stuff. It was fun, and you couldn't see that. Like nowadays, bike companies just have marketing plans that just put stuff out on social media, and they have release dates and they have non-disclosures. I have to sign non-disclosures all the time. Right. I hear about a product and I can't talk about it, and I don't think they'll ever come after me. But who knows if I do it on the podcast?
Let's not do any intellectual property or non-disclosure agreement violation. Actually, the last time we talked, it was right before SRAM had announced transmission. Yeah. And you said, hey, they got something coming out. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you what it is, but the universal derailleur hanger is a big deal.
Yeah.
You said that. And we're going to be one of the first shops in Tucson to have one. And I saw on your Instagram when you were able to, you announced it. And then of course it went crazy.
It's still awesome. Yeah. So bike industry now is they're coming out of their glut. Yeah. They're starting to trim down their lines. They're getting in. I think 2024 will be a lot easier for them. Yeah. They've pretty much
figured out demand.
They're thinning what the 22 and 23 bikes that they just had so many of.
Right.
And so this is a great time to buy a bike right now because there's great deals. I don't think that's going to last. And I just hope that consumers don't get upset when they don't see those deals anymore. Yeah. And that's something, as a retail guy, we always have to think about. We call it, I don't know if I should say this. It sounds bad. So if you take this wrong, I apologize. But we call it training the customer. And it's
educating the customer.
Yeah. What we're doing is we're getting them used to what is the norm. Yeah. And when I worked at Performance, which I did in Supergo, they trained.
Supergo. There's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I actually liked Supergo because they had nice stuff.
They did.
Performance, not so much. But Performance had a really bad habit of training the customer to wait for a sale. So we always had a saying, if you bought something at full price at Performance, you got ripped off because you just wait an hour and it'll go on sale. Yeah. And it was always on sale. And there's bike companies that still do that if you buy it at full price, you're paying too much because they're always on sale and you're training your customers to wait for that sale.
So you think 2024 is going to come back?
I think it's going to smooth out. Yeah.
And we're probably going to have some more consolidation and bankruptcies just based on kind of what I'm reading.
Yeah. I've been, I've been testing the health of the brands that we carry, whenever I see something on sale. We're a big Rocky dealer. Yep. Love Rocky. They've had some sales, which they're not known for doing.
Right.
And I've kind of probed them a little bit, and just to check, hey, are you guys healthy? I don't want to hear about all of a sudden you're going the way of Vitas, or Grill Gravity or anything like that, because we love the brand. They make great bikes and they're making smart decisions.
So you got to hear this. My last two trail bikes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Vitas Mythique went out of business. Grill Gravity Smash went out of business.
I know.
God help you if I buy a new trail bike from your company.
I know. Well, you bought a Pivot. Luckily,
That's for Lacey.
Lacey's
for Lacey. I'm not riding the Pivot.
It's so Rocky sounds like they're being smart and they're doing healthy. Whenever I see bikes out of stock at the manufacturer that we carry, that's a good thing.
As long as it's not for a prolonged period of time.
But if they're running out, then it's not an issue. Pivot is my favorite brand. I mean, I got to tell you, the Rocky guys are amazing, and I don't want to say that I don't love Rocky. I do. I love them both. Yeah. But one of the things that Pivot does that I just really admire from somebody who's in the industry is they do a couple things that are really, really smart. And I've told them this, not that matters, but one of the things is when they have an excess of something, they don't put all of them on sale. So for instance, the bike that Lacey got, we got a better deal on that particular bike. It was a special buy because the parts were non-transmission and they were making a shift to transmission.
Yep.
So, and they made it a special bike. It was a special edition that you couldn't just buy.
Yeah.
And that is brilliant to me because
it's the way that they deal with that problem that doesn't reduce the value of the product.
The other bike. Yes, exactly. And so they signal and make it real clear that these are limited. There's limited versions of them, and that they're a special thing that's going to go away. Yeah. And it helps the customers, one, take pride in if they bought the other version and paid more. It doesn't devalue their bike.
Right.
You know, you got that one, but that's a special edition. It's missing these things that I got. Or I got this one, but I wanted the transmission. So, I paid more, but I got the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
And so I think that's brilliant from a marketing standpoint because it's very difficult for a company like Pivot, who makes some of the best bikes in the world, to devalue them because they're not cheap bikes.
No.
You know, they're the way
it's a Ferrari.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But it's a Ferrari for good reason. And I'm excited for you to go see the plant because when you do the tour, you see some of the things that they do to make those bikes so good.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing. And when I took the tour, I got back and I just, my brain just kind of lit up and realized how many warranties over the last 10 years of selling pivots that we've done, and I can count it on one hand.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
I worked at Trek and I could have counted on one hand
that
each
day.
month. Yeah.
Right.
And it's 10 years.
But it's a different product, different price point. And, you know, with Trek, they got a good warranty and you expect things to go back, and that's the price that you pay. With Pivot, if you buy it, you expect it to like warranty be rare.
Well, there's people crash and you break your bike. That happens. That's not a warranty. That's a crashing.
But but manufacturing defect.
A defect, something that they just really didn't design well or make well. Is so rare on a Pivot, and we see it on other bikes. And I think it's the scale. It's Chris at Pivot, Chris Kokalis is a brilliant guy. I don't think he's an actual engineer. He's a person who should be an engineer. I've said that before. He
probably, maybe not one by training, but he is one.
Exactly.
Just, by experience.
And he's brilliant. And, he thinks that way. And so when he designs something, he doesn't want it to break. And then other companies that are more marketing focused are more worried about what it looks like and what colors are we doing this year and things like that. And so it depends on the focus of the leadership.
So in addition to like Chris being in his crew being, meticulous in their design, they must also be meticulous in their manufacturing standards and the quality control as well.
Yeah, that's the thing that you see on the tour that's really cool, if they let you, is the laser alignment. Yeah. And so they go in and they basically check these frames. Now remember, Pivot's not different. They're not making these frames in-house. They're having their partner make the frames. Yep. And then when they get the frames, they don't just slap parts on them and send them out the door.
They're checking to make sure they're in spec.
I just today talked with a manufacturer who I love. I won't mention who they are because this isn't the best thing that I'm going to say.
Okay. But Brand Z.
They partnered with one of these overseas Taiwanese companies. They were allowing that company to do their QC.
Yeah.
And
that's always a question in manufacturing.
It was causing a lot of problems, and we were seeing a lot of bad product. Right. And I asked them about it today. I said, look, man, your reputation is having an issue. Your brand value is dropping because of these problems. What's going on? And he explained to me, well, we were letting them do it. They were kind of letting stuff go. And I'm like, that's crazy because their motivation is to get stuff out the door. Yeah. It's not your motivation, which is to make sure it's good. Yeah, that company is making an adjustment and moving and changing that. But that's
so they're bringing their quality control into the in-house stateside.
Yeah. Okay. Because your motivation when you do your own quality control is not to send out the like, oh, this is
pretty
pass.
Close.
Yeah, it's kind of
good.
Yeah, it'll work for most people. You don't want to do that. That's your reputation, and your product is your livelihood.
Your name's stamped on the side of that bike, right?
And so, but the manufacturer's goal is, I made this already.
Right.
I've already spent the money making it. I need to get money for it. If it's not at that level, then I'm not getting paid.
And they're going to have to scrap it or whatever.
Exactly.
That's just going to be a loss for them.
Yep. And so their motivation is to get their stuff out. Yeah. And so if you don't keep that in mind when you're manufacturing. So Chris learned that early on. Yeah. He did a lot of manufacturing for other companies, building rear ends for bike companies, going full suspension when he was at Titus. And so he knows that well. And so they check their own stuff, and it's meticulous. Like,
it's probably worth saying though, I don't know that it's a fair generalization to say that all like subcontractor, supplier QC models fail and don't work.
No,
but because before I came to corporate strategy at the big defense company I work for, I spent a decade in supply chain.
Yep.
And I've probably been in 1,000 factories. That's part of why I'm so excited to go see Pivot, because I've been in 1,000 different factories. I've seen the best in the world. I mean, literally clean room, $1 billion parts being made, like crazy stuff, all the way down to, the lowest quality you can imagine.
Yeah.
But I've seen supplier QC programs work really well. And I've seen a lot of supplier QC programs work just as you explained it.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that out there. I don't know if it's fair to generalize for everyone.
It's not.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is my limited viewpoint is from one perspective. Yeah. I was in manufacturing. I think I may have mentioned this.
You did.
And so I actually got to be a QC guy for a little while.
So you know what it's like.
It was fun, but I was on the manufacturing side. And when that product came back from our customers, our goal was to see if it was failures, to see why it failed. And, I would say our unwritten motivation was to make sure that it wasn't just them screwing it up.
Yeah.
And so our motivations are different, and that vendor that we were dealing with, our customer, their motivation when sending stuff is to get their money back or a replacement. And so you have these opposing viewpoints. And if you're not aware of those, then that can cause problems. So if you have a good partner, that's awesome. And I think you're right. That happens a lot.
Right.
In this one case that I talked to a manufacturer today,
Wasn't working out.
And again, it wasn't malicious. It was just motivations are different.
Yeah. Incentives, like people's aligning incentives is super important in business. If you can get that win-win. Okay. So,
rabbit hole.
Bro, we asked one question and we haven't even stopped yet. 45 minutes in, this is good.
So one of the reasons I said hell yeah when you emailed me about this is because I like to talk.
That's good. All right, I have one more question about the shop. I want to ask some specific questions about you.
Okay.
You guys do something different here that I don't think I've seen in any but maybe one other shop. And that's that you do a lot of consignments.
Yep.
And so I'm just curious, like what drove you to do that, and how's that working out for you?
Well, so that's mostly me. I'll say I push that forever, as long as I've been selling bikes, which is decades.
Right.
I've noticed that one of the things, as a salesperson, I've filled every role in a bike shop. So I've done everything, including the bathrooms. I clean the bathrooms regularly.
I still do occasionally.
But one of the roles is I was in sales a lot. And when I was in sales, I always have to take what the customer needs, wants into consideration, try and get them what they need and want, what they can afford. And I have to pry that out of them sometimes, because they're not always realistic, or they're not always honest, know. Sometimes
I want the $10,000 bike, but I only have $5,000.
Sometimes, yes. Yeah. Or, no, I don't want the $5,000 bike. I want the $2,000 bike, but they're like, they're racing. Yeah. They're racing, and they're, so there's lots of, maneuvering for me to help them figure out what they need, and that's one thing that I love doing. I always tell people I have all my bikes. I have bikes. I don't need a bike. But what I love doing is buying and building and customizing bikes.
Yeah. So it's good to have your bike shop.
Well, so if I get to do it for you, I'm having a blast, and I treat your bike like I would myself.
Right.
And so I'm looking for the best deals. I'm looking for the best product, the ones that make the most difference. And so in sales, you're always trying to figure out what that person needs. One of the things that I noticed a lot is that their concern for what do they do with their old bike
was a big deal.
It was a big deal. And not only that, but we would have customers that come in with a used bike or their bike, and it goes in the stand and needs service. And it needs so much service, they're kind of contemplating a new bike. But they don't really want to do anything with their old bike, because fixing it and having it sit in the garage doesn't make sense. So what do they do with it? So at one of my positions at a bike shop called R&R, it's an old name. we developed a trade-in program. So we would do trade-ins, and that was great. It wasn't super generous, but it gave somebody a place to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Gave them some revenue for their...
And you solved one of the problems that they were contemplating.
Yeah, in sales, you overcome objections. Yep. That's what you're taught to do, you know? And so what I noticed, though, is some of these bikes were nice, and I'm really into buying and selling bikes. I like to change my bikes every year. I'll sell used bikes. I'll go buy used bikes. I'm a fixture at the bike swap in town. Yeah. And I'll go out there and sell trade-in forks or bikes I've built in my garage or my old bike or whatever. And so I see that as a secondary market that people want to deal with, but they don't have a clue how to. Yeah. They don't want to deal with meeting some guy at Safeway at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. You know, like trying to sell their bike online is not only intrusive, but almost scary. Yeah, I can imagine. And the scammers are just insane.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And so, but they don't want this bike, but they know it has value. So donating is frustrating because they're like, I feel like there's some value.
I should get something out of this.
Yeah. And so we can do that. We can help them, and we can help them not have the uncomfortable text back and forth with somebody who's trying to scam them. We can have them not have to meet some guy, you know, or woman or whoever, to show their bike and try and answer questions that they don't even know. In most cases, we can help them through all that, and we take a percentage. And so,
what is your model? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we usually do. If you're purchasing a bike, or if you use it for in-store credit, you know, we take 20%. Okay. So if we're selling the bike for $1,000, we get $200.
Gotcha.
So, and then if you're just getting cash, like you're clearing out the garage and you're not buying anything, and we're going to write you a check, it's going to be 30%.
Okay.
So,
and then do you guys agree on the price?
Yeah. So that's the biggest and probably the hardest part, and probably why a lot of bike shops don't deal with it. Yeah. Because you have to have a pretty good knowledge of what stuff's value is, what it's going for. Yeah. And
do you use Bicycle Blue Book or anything like that?
Yeah, but talk about COVID really messing stuff up.
Yeah, dude, the algorithm is not recovered yet.
It hasn't. Yeah. And so so that was really tough. So we just have to kind of wing it. And because I'm involved with that and I'm constantly doing it for myself, it's pretty much a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, you have a good feel of what's going on.
Yeah, and so people will come in and we'll give them a good idea of what it's valued. We have kind of a standard fee that we charge, and that's just so that they understand that there's work that goes into it just to stick it on the floor. Yeah. And then,
so you have a fee to like get the bike in shape. Yeah. Put it up on, so you know, up and over and above the 20% or whatever.
It's basic. It's $25.
Oh, so, Jesus.
Yeah, it's super low. Yeah. It's really just for the time and effort it takes to look through the bike, kind of maybe do small adjustments. And then we may make recommendations. If you need a new chain and cassette, we're not going to sell it under a certain level. So it has to be in a saleable condition. Yeah. And we work on that with the customer, and then we don't charge the customer for what we do to the bike until it sells. Oh, that's cool. So it gives them a really low cost, easy way to get rid of something, feel like they're getting value out of it. They're getting it to a good home. Yeah. And they're not dealing with all the BS. And there's a lot of BS.
So I see the value proposition to the customer. Mm-hmm. And I somewhat see the value proposition for you because you're solving one of their problems. And that, you know, you said 20% is store credit. Yep. So that's obviously helping you with more sales, right? Yep. Because, but are they selling?
Yeah. So right now I would say that it's not the best market. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about COVID. Yeah, we're talking about how the
market is flooded right now.
The used market has a lot of those bikes out there, and there's a lot of them. And then you have the new bikes that are kind of on sale. Yeah, and they've been on sale for a year. Right. So
you got to start bringing the prices down.
Well, yeah. So if you bought a bike for $7,000 and are trying to sell it for $5,000, and you only rode it for 4 months,
you're probably not going to get $5,000 for it.
It's tough, and it's a great value for somebody, but it's really tough because that $7,000 bike may be on sale for $5,500. Right. And one of the things, and this is one thing about the podcast that I am excited about because I can help people understand some stuff from a retail standpoint. When you buy a used bike, you do not get warranties. So your frame is not warranted. Your parts are not warranted.
Is that all bikes are not transferable to the secondary owner?
Yeah, there is maybe a couple exceptions that I know of that are just weird exceptions. Okay,
but the standard terms and conditions are primary buyer, original buyer gets the warranty. Once it moves on, there's no warranty.
Yeah, so if you buy that bike used, you may not know, was it in a crash? What's the integrity, especially with carbon.
Yeah.
And so that's something that you have to own, when you buy used. I buy a lot of used stuff. Yeah. I do it all the time because I'm just playing with bikes. That's really what I like to do.
But you're buying it in the shape that it's in.
Yep.
And dealing with it, whatever comes is on you.
I bought a used fork at the bike swap meet. I was super excited, got it back to the workshop, took it apart, and it was ruined on the inside because I'm out there walking around. I can't look inside it, you know? And I own that. There's nothing I could do about that, and I've done that. That's happened to me a couple times.
Have you rehabbed that fork yet?
That one I couldn't. It was corroded so bad. It was, in fact, I made a paper towel holder out of half of it. So yeah,
at least you're upcycling some way.
The used market and the consignment market's been a little stale. We've had a couple times where we've lowered the price of one of our consignments and boom, they sold. Okay. So there's kind of a perfect point, and we're trying to figure that out for customers. There's some bikes that have been here a while. Yeah. We just had one picked up today, and the guy that picked it up is awesome. He's a friend of the shop. He's a great guy, and he just sat here for a while, and he just was like, it's not selling. I don't really want to come down anymore on the price. Yeah. And I got a new dog, and I want to take him running, and this is the bike I'm going to go running with the dog. So he just picked up his bike, and I'm like, that's great.
Yeah. No harm, no foul.
No.
$25 cost him to.
Exactly. Yeah. We had a customer. I just bought one of his consignment bikes because he was just getting impatient and he kept lowering the price. And I'm like,
he lowered it so good that it was like, well, okay, I'll buy it now.
He's like, can you just buy it so we can get it over with? And I'm like, well, here's what I'll buy it for, but it's really low. And he's like, I'll take it. I just want to get out from under it. There's other bikes I want to buy.
I know what that feels like.
and you know what? When we can, we try and do that. Yeah. So sometimes, if, we don't take super low end bikes. We take marketable bikes. We usually focus on the higher end ones. Yeah. Because 20% of $100 is usually not worth. Yeah, for sure. A salesperson, working for a couple hours with somebody.
Yeah. So you have all high end bikes and
we tend to do higher end ones. The low end ones usually, if somebody's trying to sell them, they try and do it on Marketplace or something.
Yeah, Marketplace or Craigslist.
It sucks, but those are harder to sell, but they also sell faster because it's closer to a throwaway amount. Yeah. So,
all right. So a few minutes left here. I thought good to maybe run through some questions about you and about your riding.
Oh, sure.
So first I'll tell you about me so that you and I can level on this just to make sure there's no misconceptions. So I'm like a blue trail plus.
Okay.
Black trail minus. So like easy black trails I'm good with.
Okay.
All the blue trails I love, I'm not that good.
Okay.
I'm like an intermediate rider. So when we ever go ride, I just want to have that. I have you set that expectation for you because I have a feeling that I actually already know this, that you are like a black trail demon.
Double to triple, sometimes red, if I can. But that's not true. So I just rode Milagrosa. It's a local trail in town. It's considered one of the chunkiest. Yeah. It's a couple hour ride. I think we did it in 1:29 riding time.
That trail scares me.
It's a nasty trail, and there's a couple spots I walked. And so I will get off my bike and walk sections. So I'm not like some badass. Okay. I'm very.
I don't believe you, by the way, but I love the humbleness.
I'm not. It's frustrating because my whole life I've been like this. I'm not a spectacular rider. I'm not a showy rider. Right. I keep my wheels on the ground. Yeah. I don't do big air. I love to go fast, and I can let go of the brakes more than a lot of people. So I tend to be faster than a lot of people. I'm currently still racing downhill, although I'm not sure how much my body is going to be okay with that. So I do race downhill, and I do fairly well for amateur racing. I did a lot of downhill racing in my life. Right. Nothing pro level, but semi-pro. Okay. And now I would say I ride all types, I complain riding Honeybee because I get bored and my body hurts, and so that's one of the drawbacks to the amount of downhilling is I have a lot of knee issues and soreness and body aches. And so I love adrenaline. So I push for that. And then, so going off a drop, doing big steeps, rolls, rock gardens, I love. Faster, the better. So yeah, when we go ride, it'll be kind of weird because I'll let go of the brakes and be gone. And then the next minute you'll see me walking down a section because I just don't feel like riding it.
Okay.
And so, I ride with other people. I have a couple riding buddies that are just amazing, you know, and we all go through that, but yes, when I travel, I look for the nastiest stuff. So like when I go to Hawes, the first trail I want to hit is Sunset, and it has a huge billboard. Have you been there?
No, I've been to Hawes, but I have not ridden Sunset. That would be above my.
So Hawes Trails, for your international listeners, is in Phoenix. It's a trail network that is amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. Mesa, east of Phoenix. Yeah.
They've done a great job of building all these trails.
Machine built. Yeah. Lots of.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
All over the place, but the flow stuff is amazing.
And there's one trail that has a big billboard that says this. I can't remember the wording, but it's something like
this could kill you.
Yeah, this is for extreme riders. Turn back. There's no go arounds. There's nothing. You have to ride.
Is there exposure? Is it exposed?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, it's nasty. And there would be people that listen to this and they're like, it's not that hard. But it's hard. And my first time on it was at night.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Without a light. And
without a light at night. Okay.
I forgot.
Were you riding behind someone that had a light at least?
We did a run of shuttles at South Mountain, and we heard about this trail, and I'm like, I got to go ride that trail. So we had lunch, and we didn't get to Sunset Trail until 4, and then you got like an hour climb.
Yeah.
So
you weren't on an e-bike?
I was.
Oh, it's still an hour on an e-bike.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I was on an e-bike, and I got to the top of the trail, and the sun was going down, and one of my buddies had a light. The other one had a light that didn't work, and I got
3
down
guys, one light.
Yeah. I got down at okay.
We don't recommend this.
No. I got down at okay, but then I went back during the day and I cleaned everything. Yeah. And it is a nasty trail. There's one section that at the night ride, I had to scoot down on my butt and hold my bike by the tire and just let it drag itself down the trail. It was that steep. I couldn't even walk it.
There's a couple at Angel Fire that I did that last year. For sure.
So I did Moab and I went to Magnificent 7 and ended at Portal. And Portal has signs on it that say that dismount now because people have died and you could die.
You could die.
Yeah. And so I do get a kick out of that stuff.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, so now that we just set the expectation, that's not me. My wife will do that with you. That's not me. Yeah. All right. Let's run through your bikes real quick. So you get a downhill bike?
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
A Pivot Phoenix. Yeah. Phoenix. It's custom DVO suspension and it's 27.5 rear, 29 front, which they call a mullet.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Is it a what's it called?
Triple clamp.
Triple clamp.
Yep. Yeah. So, that's the one that as most of my racing I do. I did a little at Angel Fire and Big Bear, but mostly at Boulder City. It's called Bootleg Canyon.
Bootleg Canyon,
Nevada. And it's nasty. It's nasty terrain. It's like our Star Pass Trail, which is really volcanic and jutting and sharp rocks, but steep.
Okay.
So
because Star Pass isn't very steep at all.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a enduro long travel trail bike, something like that?
Yeah, that's the Rocky Altitude.
Okay.
So, and that one is 170 in the front. DVO. I'm a big DVO fan. And
DVO suspension. Though.
Yep. Yeah, DVO suspension. 170 in the front, 165, I think, in the rear.
And the DVO guys, if I remember this correctly, they were Marzocchi US.
Yep. Yeah, back when Marzocchi was amazing, before 2009. So when Marzocchi sold to the Taiwanese company, Tenneco, I think it's called, they made those changes, those QC that we were talking about, they did not put out a good product. And the guys in the U.S. got so frustrated because they're fielding every angry rider, with every click and blown fork and not working right. And they're dealing with all that. And they just finally got fed up and they just all left. And they basically partnered with the company in Taiwan and started DVO. And since then they've been pretty amazing. So, it's probably one of the best suspension. I'll pull a Fox factory off my bike and put a DVO on.
Put a DVO on there
every single time. Yeah.
Interesting.
Except for my cross country bike, because DVO focuses on
bigger
plush and supple, and they don't focus on lightweight. So
so let's move down. So we talked about the 170. What's the next smaller suspension?
So
a trail bike or a down country bike or something?
Probably my SL. That's a Pivot SL.
Okay.
So 120, I think it's.
So that's a cross country bike, basically.
Yeah, it's super light. That's my flatland, like anything not on the mountain.
Okay,
that's what I like to ride, and then I have e-bikes too. So and the e-bikes kind of fill the gaps. I have one I race enduro,
Okay.
e-bikes in Nevada.
Yep.
And that's a Rocky Mountain, and that's got DVO.
Power Play or something like that?
Yep, they call it a Power Play. Yep. Carbon fiber. It's pretty amazing bike.
Yep. And they're using the Horse Link, I think. If you
Yep. They use the Horse Link, and then they have the most power out there.
Was it like 325 or something?
It's 109 Newton meters, but somebody's going to correct me. But it's around 100 Newton meters for the motor.
Okay.
And so there's all kinds of different things.
Yeah, you're going to have to convert that. Yeah,
because you just got an e-bike, so you'll kind of.
I'm still slowly learning.
You start learning. Yeah. People judge them on different aspects, like the battery size, the power, and then watts, whatever. So it's my big bike. It's full battery, full power bike, and then I have a Pivot SL Shuttle, which is 36 pounds.
That's pretty light for an e-bike.
It's insanely light. And every time I'm out riding, I have people lift it up just so that they can understand how light this bike is.
Like that's about what my trail bike weighs.
Yeah. It's probably the same way as your Gorilla, real close.
Yeah.
And it is becoming my favorite bike because it rides like a normal bike, but it gets me to the top of the hill.
Okay.
So I don't have to drive a car to shuttle. I can use it. I can do laps. It's pretty amazing. So it's built off of the 429 trail.
Okay. So it's a electric 429 basically.
Yeah, and I've enduroed it out. So it's got a 160 fork, and I think it's like 120 in the back, but it's coil.
160, 120?
Yeah, I think that's right. But it's a coil, DVO coil in the back, and then DVO suspension. And it is so capable. I've taken it to some bike parks. It can jump. I've had a couple friends who are like, "Oh, it's not enough travel. It's just not enough travel." And I'm just like, "Look, man, if it can handle Angel Fire, if it can handle Purgatory, if it can handle Big Bear,
it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, so it's totally fine.
If you need more, maybe unless you're racing enduro, I don't think you need more."
Okay, any smaller than the 120?
I'm my single speed.
Okay.
So
that's a hardtail, right?
Yep, hardtail. Yep. It's a Ventana.
Ventana, yeah.
Sherwood.
We had Sherwood Gibson on. Yeah.
So I was excited to hear him, and because I have two Ventanas. They were both frames from one of our local legends who passed away this year. And I got some of his old bikes, and I have two of them. I'm proud to have two of them. We have a little memorial on the wall with his old Titus that he won some races on. So that's pretty cool. And then Ventana,
do you want to mention who he is?
I do, but because I didn't know him personally, I don't want to get his name wrong.
Let's not
Tom Barrett is what I think I'm going to say.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah,
and
I can always fix that. I can give you the name for the show notes.
For sure.
He one of the founders of Samba.
Samba, yeah.
Yeah, and he passed away in January. And so I was proud to get some of his bikes. One of them, one of our local friends has, and he loves it. And then I have his two Ventanas, which I love.
Cool. So single speed, you got a front fork on it, or
yeah. I rode it rigid for years, and not years. I got it 2 years.
Okay.
And it was my kids' bike, so it was what I rode with my kids.
Right on.
And they're getting faster, and so I needed a fork.
You need something to a fork, and you need.
Yeah. And so now it's got a suspension fork, and they're still getting faster, so it's not getting ridden as much. I'm riding the SL more with them. So. And then I'm trying to think.
Yeah, gravel bike?
Yes. I have two of them.
Okay.
I have an Argon 18 gravel, which is awesome. That's a bike company that we sell in the shop.
Yep.
They make amazing bikes, carbon fiber, super comfortable. Just
is it more race oriented or
no? It's kind of an all day rider.
Okay.
So people can't see what we're looking at, but we're looking at one in the shop. It's right across from us. And what you notice on Argons is they have kind of this weird head tube.
Yeah.
It's a two-tone, and at the top of it is a different color. Some of them are painted to match, but that top section comes in different heights. And so
you're changing the stack?
So you're changing the stack and the head tube height. So you can change the bike from kind of a road race setup to an endurance.
Pop it up.
And you don't have to get
just
a new
change
frame.
out that. Oh, wow. So they have adjustable stack.
Yeah. So sometimes you'll see them built like this one next to it where it's round, and sometimes they're integrated into the frame.
That's pretty cool.
A little more flowy. Mine, one of mine, I have an e-gravel also. and it's an Argon 18.
Jesus
Also,
Christ, how many bikes you got, man?
Well, the
That's
whole
a lot.
shop.
Yeah, well, I mean,
at least half of them.
Yeah, right.
But the e-gravel I got a couple years ago because I wanted to do more, and I don't have much time. And so I thought, well, this will get me motivated. It was just coming out, and the company who makes the e-gravel system was the same company that did the controller on my Rocky Mountain. So I was kind of in love with them. Kind of felt like, hey, I just want to try this out.
Right.
Same company makes the e-bike systems for like Pinarello and for Bianchi and for all the high-end road bikes. And so my Argon Gravel has that. And it's a nice bike. It's very dusty. It doesn't get ridden much. I wish it did. If I have time to ride, I go ride the mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And then if I have extra time, I'll probably get out on the gravel bike whenever I can. My new Argon is not an e-bike, and I'm excited about that one because one of the drawbacks to my Argon e-bike is it's a hub motor, and it's 650Bs.
Okay.
So they're wider tires, and it's great. I ride Honeybee on it all the time.
Okay.
Or when I do. And the drawback is I want to ride as a road bike, and I want 700s, but because the motor's in the hub, it's not easy to switch.
Yeah,
so,
you got to rebuild the wheel.
Yeah. And so I decided I'm just going to get a regular gravel bike and use that as my on-off road and kind of replace my road bike. Right. And my road bike's the last bike that I have that is...
It's a Merckx, is that
Yep,
it?
yeah. Merckx 575. It's prettiest bike I've ever seen.
Custom paint job. You were showing it to me earlier.
Yeah, I wish I was the one who actually paid for it. Actually, I'm glad I didn't pay for the... Let me take that back. I didn't pay for the paint job, but I love it.
Yeah.
I got it from a customer who had it custom painted for him, and he raced it for a couple seasons and then was getting rid of it. And I always joked around that anytime I worked on his bikes and rode them around, they fit me like a glove.
Yeah.
And so he was selling it, and I'm like, all right. And we just struck a deal, and I got to build it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I put Access Force on it and rode it like 4 times.
And it's up on the wall. It sure looks pretty.
Yep, everybody can come visit it. So it is a good looking bike. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't count the vintage bikes. That doesn't count the bikes in progress. Like, you should see my garage. It's full of stuff. And that's the thing is I love this. I love building these things.
You have a deep passion for it.
And I've kind of burnt out my time on mine, and my wife is definitely tired of me building my bikes. And so
now you can feed your passion here and make money doing it.
Yep. Yeah. And that's probably, I think, people that experience this shop will come away with that experience that when they come here, they're going to feel like we are just so excited to get them something awesome. And it's just the best feeling in the world when you get to help them go through that process. You get to smooth out those road bumps of trying to figure out what's going to work with what and what won't. Will this work? Can I afford this? Is this a good product? Is this just something I heard about online that they're pushing or is it a real thing that's good? You know, and having somebody in your corner to do that is
a big deal.
It's really important. And that's what people, I think, really, really cherish about their local bike shop.
LBS.
So,
well, brother, I came here literally worried that we weren't going to have enough content. And I had 50 questions and we covered 3.
Now we got more nights to do.
We got tons of content. So I'm really excited about this. I'm super glad you're joining us.
I am too. I'm going to miss Mike because I loved, like
chemistry.
I said, I'm a huge fan. I've been listening to every single episode. I haven't heard Frank's yet. But that's because I've been Christmas. You know? And
it just came out like 2 days ago, man. So it's okay.
Yeah. But I'm gonna miss Mike, but I'm so excited, and it's something I'm really looking forward to doing. So I hope that people enjoy this banter. You know, and I hope we can give them just a little bit of glimpse into what we do.
Yeah, for sure.
What the bike industry is, and kind of get them jazzed.
For sure, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate you, brother. Little fist bump there, and with that, I think we'll send you out. And
next time, cheese.
Next time, cheese. Yeah, we'll bring cheese. Maybe we should have cheese. We should have cheese like every episode.
Absolutely.
It sounds good. Take care, guys.
Oh. It's weird. I hear the mic go in and out. Is that going in and out on the recording? already?
It is.
Okay.
And it's just...
So you'll see me get real close.
Yeah. So you notice like I'm like right up on top of it.
So